Mark Twain famously said, "Clothes do make the man. A naked person has little influence on society." Well, all jokes aside, Zachary Taylor, the general of the Mexican-American War and our next president, wasn't a big believer in dressing up super nice. In fact, in his army, he didn't wear any indications of his rank. There were no big gold things on his shoulder or medals on his chest or fancy hats. In fact, he would many times almost dress as a civilian. He might have a military jacket on or pants, but he always wore a beat-up farmer's straw hat. There's a famous anecdote story of where Zachary Taylor sitting outside of his tent whittling away at a stick, and a messenger comes riding into camp, jumps off of his horse and rushes up to Zachary Taylor. He's got an important message for the commanding general. And he looks down at this old man wearing beat-up clothes and a rumpled hat, and he says, "I need the general. Where is he? Right now." And he starts ordering this man around. He thinks he's an orderly. Maybe he's the general's servant or maybe an old sergeant or something. He doesn't know who this guy is. And Zachary Taylor, he plays along. He pretends like he's not the general. And, well, I don't know, maybe you could give the message to me. And the young messenger is all flustered. And no, it must be given directly into the hands of the general himself. And Zachary Taylor plays along for a while, and finally someone lets the messenger know that he's been talking to the commander of the army this whole time. Well, the young messenger was horrified and so embarrassed that he was acting so arrogantly toward this old man. Zachary Taylor didn't care. He took the message and quietly read it. U.S. Grant, who would later command the Union forces in the Civil War and become another president, greatly admired Zachary Taylor. He said Zachary Taylor didn't have the gifts of extreme bravery or genius, but he had something that was more rare. Grant said he had the character of a man who did his job, never complained, and never worried about not having enough. He took what he had and always did his best. When Grant became a general, he mimicked Zachary Taylor in many ways. And one of the ways he mimicked him is that he never wore a general's uniform. Unlike his opponent Lee, who always dressed impeccably, Grant would wear a private's uniform and an old rumpled hat. Well, Zachary Taylor, when he became president, he, even though owned slaves, he did not support the expansion of slavery. In fact, he threatened some slaveholders, some slaveholder politicians who said they were going to secede. He said, "If you secede, I will take the army personally down into the South, and I will hang every single leader of secession, just like I would hang deserters in the Mexican-American War." Well, unfortunately, after that threat, several days later, he got sick and died. Legend says he was eating cherries and drinking milk, and there was some bacteria on the cherries. Some people think he was poisoned. Later, just a couple years ago, his body was exhumed and examined for arsenic, and historians determined that he probably wasn't poisoned. But it's one of those mysteries that we'll never know. But one of the things that we do know about Zachary Taylor is that he was more concerned about what was on the inside than what was on the outside. There's an unpopular Bible verse in the New Testament where Paul talks to women and he says, "Don't be worried about braiding your hair and wearing jewelry. Instead, focus on having the same attributes of some of the great women in the Bible. Let your beauty not be from outward adornment, but from the inside." And I know some ladies who don't like Paul. They think he's not a very good women's right Bible writer. But we need to look at this story not as a way of telling women to not look pretty or to not fix their hair for church or to be beautiful. But Paul is saying, instead of focusing on the outside so much, focus on the inside. And we all know stories of beautiful people who are so mean and ugly on the inside that no one wants to be around them. And we all have probably been touched by someone who on the outside is probably not that attractive. They would never get awards in Hollywood, but who, because of their beautiful insides, we adore them. One of the most beautiful women in my life was Grandma Ekval. And when I met her, my great-grandma, she was already well into her 80s and 90s. And no one would look at her and say that she was a beautiful, attractive woman. She was so old, but she was so strong and so beautiful on the inside. And I remember the stories she would tell me. And as a little kid, I didn't care that she wore these huge dresses that weren't very trendy or attractive, or that she had so much wrinkles on her face, or that her arm skin could be just kind of hung there. It didn't matter to me that she wasn't a beautiful woman. She had a beautiful soul, and that attracted me as a little kid. And I know there were people who went to the church who thought that Lula Ekval was an amazing person. You see, it's okay to look good on the outside. In fact, it's good to take care of yourself and try to be as presentable as possible. But what's more important is what's on the inside. You see, Zachary Taylor's character was what led him to win so many battles in the Mexican-American War. It was his character that led him to be such a strong leader, trying to hold the Union together during his short term in office. And it's character, you know, your character is the only thing you can take with you to heaven. When we get to heaven, we're going to be told we're going to get new bodies. I'm going to have strong eyes and great hair. You're going to have a perfect body, and whatever issues you have right now, you won't be struggling with. But the only thing that we can take to heaven, it's not our bank account or our cars. It's not our degrees or our money. It's our character. And so today, as you're combing your hair and brushing your teeth, as you're putting on your nice clothes, ask God to come into your heart and put on a nice heart for you. You see, God says that he will give us a new heart if we ask for it. David says, "Search me, O God, create in me a clean heart." What's important is what's on the inside. So today, look up and realize that no matter how dirty the inside is, Jesus can clean it up. No matter how messed up you feel, Jesus can fix you. And the way that we let him fix us is just by focusing on him. You have a good heart. You are a good person. And I know that because when God created you, he said, "It is very good." Have a great day. God bless.